Hello again, this is David Stearns from Haley Marketing Group, and welcome to today's Lunch with Haley webinar. Today is one of our annual favorites in the Lunch with Haley series. This is where we get to do a little show and tell and demonstrate some examples of the work we've been doing in the past 12 months. So on today's call, Todd, Brad, Kelly, and I are going to take you through lots of examples of our work. And in typical Lunch with Haley fashion, I think we've planned about an hour and a half's worth of content to try to put into the next hour. So I'm not going to introduce too long. The only thing I want to let everybody know, if there are questions, we are going to be live tweeting once again throughout the event, and the hashtag for today's webinar is #LunchWithHaley. So if you're a regular Twitter users and you need questions answered along the way, feel free to use our Twitter option. Also feel free to use the questions, and we'll do our best to get to your questions as we go. With that said, we're going to jump right in, and Kelly, why don't you introduce to everybody some of the cool things we've been doing with websites.
Sure. Thanks, David. Today I am going to be reviewing our website designs and talk about some of the trends that we're seeing in websites. Long gone are the days when your website was simply an online brochure. Today's sites offer a lot more functionality and features to engage with your audience. As we're going through our examples, we won't be able to show you all of the live sites, but we do invite you to visit them directly to take a look at some of the features that we'll be discussing. Having said that, David, I think with our first example, Bayside Solutions, we're going to jump over directly to the live site to show you what we've done with this particular client. With Bayside Solutions, they're a long-time Haley marketing client, and they were in the process of an internal restructuring, narrowing 7 divisions down into 3, and they were also identifying and formally defining their internal value system, all of which led to brand new branding as well as a new website. This new website had to reflect the brand positioning, be very well organized, informative. It had to have a lot of information and remain uncluttered and highlight each of the unique 3 divisions. So if you'll see on the home page, we have a rotating animation that highlights each of the 3 divisions. We have a large drop-down navigation, so David, if you'll roll over specialties, this actually allows you to access any of the subpages within the site, allowing you immediate access to very low-level pages and to any portion of this website. You'll see back on the home page that we have several feeds being incorporated. On the right-hand side, we have a hot jobs feed pulling in the most recent job postings to the job board. Below this, we actually also highlight the Bayside services, and you can scroll through several of their service offerings with left and right arrows, allowing for a lot of information to be displayed all at once. Even lower on the page is a blog feed that incorporates all of their most recent blog posts, as well as if you click the little newsletter tab there, it opens up a form where you can sign up for the Bayside newsletter. One of the trends that we're seeing are very long pages on websites like this. It offers you the opportunity to add a lot of information on your site. If we'll go back up to the specialty section in this site, you'll see each of the divisions has their own section of the site, and if you click on one of the main level of the divisions, you go to a main landing page. This particular page incorporates the same features and functionality of the hot jobs and the blog, but they are actually division specific based on categories within the job board and the blog. We also link to LinkedIn groups specific for that audience, so we can be very, very targeted. And I know later on Brad is going to be talking about some blogging, Bayside's blogging. This site actually also includes the Haley Marketing Job Board, and it includes our Haley Mail services and the Staffing and Candidate Resource Centers. And I don't think David can keep up with me here, but we invite you to take a look at the live site itself. And the next example that we have is Marquee Staffing, and David, I know we're going back to this slide. Again, the Marquee Staffing site incorporates a long page. We have a very large image taking up the page, and that's actually also a rotating image that highlights their focus of high-level skilled professionals. This site also includes a tab a little lower on the page for more information that opens up additional information. Again, a nice way to present a lot of information without cluttering your home page. When you go to this site, their search jobs feature is actually incorporated with their VCG software, which was also branded to look like the new site. They also incorporate their newsflash is also a WordPress blog with Haley Marketing blogging services, and they also included an events calendar where they can keep their audience up to date with events that are going on around their area. Our next example, Superior Hire, we're actually going to jump into the live site again to take a look at this. Superior Hire is a long-standing leader in the Dallas-Fort Worth community, and they really wanted to emphasize their uniqueness from the moment you landed on their site. They focus on some key phrases that working with them is different: accountability, reliability, trustworthy. Right here on the home page, they have a unique Wordle graphic, and we rotate through a lot of animation. The site's very clean, very uncluttered, and what they've done very effectively is incorporate video throughout the site. You'll see on the home page we have the president's message, and if we go into the client services section, we actually have client testimonials that are all video testimonials directly to clients. This is also carried over in the candidate testimonial section, as well as their team bios and their community involvement. This site also incorporates the Haley Marketing Job Board, and if we can switch over to that, this is our newly released job board, and with an integration with their ABD applicant tracking system. So they're able to post jobs through ABD and have them post directly to their website. Thanks, David. Our next example is another site similar to Bayside. This particular company, Fidelis Companies, was combining three divisions, three separate companies under one umbrella, the new Fidelis Companies brand. Like the Bayside site, it needed to highlight each of these three divisions uniquely, give them a unique presence. So we have slider drawers on the home page that accomplish that. We have a large drop-down menu on this to easily access all of their services and their divisions. Each of the divisions has a special home page along with special sections that highlight their own blogging and unique targeted audience blog posts and feeds. Their search jobs actually is an iframe of their sendouts account, and it makes it easy for candidates to apply for jobs. Again, they also have a WordPress blog, and with the division specific categories, we're able to disseminate the information throughout the site to an audience specific. And then the final website example that we have, Future Force, I think we're going to jump right into the live site again. Thanks for all the navigating, David. The Future Force was also a longtime Haley Marketing client. They wanted us to create a modern look to the website that we had designed for them back in 2009. They chose a custom design site, as were the other examples, because they wanted to be fresh, bold, they wanted it to be easy to navigate, and they wanted a very Miami feel to their site. So the home page opens with this gorgeous picture of the Miami skyline, and the background image you can actually move through traditionally with the left and right arrows. However, the thumbnails on the bottom also allow you to navigate through the slideshow. Bold statements appear next to the thumbnails to inform the audience reasons why you should be working with Future Force. As you scroll down lower in the page, the top navigation remains static at the top of the page, which is another trend that we've seen in the sites that have these long pages, and it happens on the other sites that we showed. Bayside and Marquee also had that feature. You'll see that there are audience-specific call-outs for staffing solutions, clients, and job seekers. And as you roll over each one of those, navigation to other sections of the site appear. These call-out audiences are for these primary audiences and show you the services that FutureForce provides for those audiences. Below that, you'll see they've got a blog feed as well as a hot jobs feed, keeping, again, their homepage up to date with the most recent blog posts and jobs. Their Contact Us actually allows you to easily access any of their corporate office or any of their office locations. And another slider at the bottom for affiliations and awards scrolls through all of the affiliations and awards that FutureForce has received. And then you'll see in the footer they've also got the sign up for their newsletters, very similar to what we've seen on the other sites. So if you have other features, you can feature them right on the website. And that was the last example for websites.
Great. Thank you, Kelly. Really,
no problem.
Really interesting stuff that we've been doing, and it's a lot of fun working with all of these companies who have pushed us to really find ways to better present their company, better brand themselves in their local market, and take advantage of what you can now do online. A lot of the technology that Kelly demonstrated during the review of these first 5 sites are things that 2 years ago we couldn't have easily done, and even some of them a year ago couldn't have been done. But that's the nature of how fast web design and the technology we're using to build websites is changing. And speaking of changing in technology, I'm going to do a couple more examples of some of the best practices in web design that we are implementing. And for those of you who may have been on a call we did a little while ago on mobile in the staffing industry, one of the big trends that we're now incorporating into every website we're starting to build is the thought towards either a responsive website and or a mobile plugin to provide a great experience for the mobile, particularly job seeker. A responsive website, you see the example from our site, Haley Marketing. So on a large monitor, a desktop with a big monitor, you see our entire site the way we had designed it for desktop use. Let's say you go home, you pick up an iPad, you want to see our site. The screen's a little bit smaller than your desktop, so you can see the text that's all the way across the page now has moved up next to our logo, and it pushed up the call to action buttons a little bit higher so that they fit on the screen on an iPad. Jump over to your phone, and the design changes once again. This text now moves back under the logo, and all of those buttons now stack vertically because that's what fits on your phone screen. And that's what's called a responsive design. The design changes to fit the size of the screen you're showing it on. Now, a lot of people are saying, hey, every new website absolutely must be responsive. That's how you become mobile friendly. And they're right and they're wrong. Having a responsive design is very important, so your site has something to fall back on regardless of what new screen size your client or your candidate may be viewing your website on. But the other thing that we're finding is that in addition to being responsive for the smartphone view, very often we want to have a separate mobile plugin. And the reason for that is the content that we might put on your main website might be too much for a phone. There may be pages we don't even want to have on a phone. So if with a responsive site, pretty much all the content on your main site's going to be on your smartphone. With a mobile plugin, we can change the look and feel. We can change the content to create a different experience for somebody using it on a phone. And what we're finding now is that we are doing a lot of mobile plugins where we can customize. In fact, if you went to our own website, haleymarketing.com, we built it to be responsive, but there's so much content in our site that we are now in the process of building out our mobile plugin. So if you went right now, you'd find a work in progress. But we're literally taking and mapping the pages we want from our corporate site on our desktop site onto what you would see on a phone, so it becomes very easy to use, very functional, very useful for someone who comes to our site on a phone. In terms of our clients and best practices, the majority of the sites that we are now building are taking advantage of, at a minimum, the mobile plugin, and a lot of sites are doing both. the responsive, and the plugin. A couple other innovations that happened in the past 12 months in our website development process. Innovation number one is we had a lot of people come to us over the years who they're a startup. They have a very small budget. They're a solo recruiter. Maybe they're launching a new division. We actually had a client who's got a very substantial staffing practice, but he's got a niche market in a very specialized area, and he needed a website for that area. So we came out with this new product about 12 months ago called the Haley Marketing Group Value Site. And it's a very template-driven site that we can change the colors, the pictures, but the layout basically stays the same. And the nice part for our clients is it's very fast to build. Well, the company I mentioned who had a substantial practice but a specialized division, we turned a new site around for them in about 2 weeks. And we were able to get very fast turnaround because this value site was the perfect solution. So that was one of the innovations that we had in website design in the past 12 months. And the second one is one we're working on right now. I talked about mobile and responsive, and Kelly showed you lots of great examples of some of the latest technologies we've been putting into our custom websites. Well, we're taking that technology and we're bringing it to a product which is called our starter sites. And we are in the process of building, they're just about all done, a library of websites that we can adjust for each client that wants to use them. And these new starter sites are fully responsive. We'll have the ability to have a separate mobile plugin. They've got very robust content and layout. They take advantage of compartmentalized widgets so that if we want to pull in feeds of top candidates or hot jobs or information from a blog, it's very easy for us to configure the site. And what it's going to allow us to do is provide a higher level of design at a better price point and faster delivery. And really that's where website development is going, is finding ways to do things more intelligently, more efficiently, more effectively, so that you get a better price and a better result and a faster response. And that's exactly the direction. Our new starter designs are actually going live beginning next month. One of the things we're doing with every one of the starter designs is we are designing a full view of what it will look like on your desktop. Usually the iPad view will be similar, and then it will have a separate but very distinct mobile look that is optimized for the smartphone experience. All right, the next example of changes we've made, and a big change in terms of how staffing companies are putting job information on their websites, was the redesign of our job board that Kelly mentioned earlier. We took a quick look at an example of it on one of our client sites. Back in January, we finished a major redesign of our job board interface, allowing candidates to come to your website and look for jobs. Now, I didn't pick any specific one of our clients. Right here we have the example you see as it sits on Haley Marketing Group's website, but the job board itself looks very similar on more than 200 staffing company websites. And why do these companies choose to implement this job board? Number one, nice, clean, simple interface, easy way to get jobs out of their applicant tracking system, out of their staffing software, onto their website so people can apply. But the big thing that we've done is to optimize the jobs for the mobile job seeker. And on the right, you see the way the interface looks on a telephone. Indeed.com, the folks there told us that about 30% of all of their traffic are now people using mobile devices. So we need to make it easy to search jobs from a mobile platform. Our job board does that. Second thing that we needed to do was to have every single job optimized for search engines. And what we find with a lot of the staffing software is it's really great at running a staffing company, but all of the data sits in the staffing software. It's not sitting on your website, and Google doesn't see all of your individual jobs. If Google doesn't see all of your jobs, that really impacts how you rank for search results. So we, in our redesign, said we're going to make sure Google can see every single job, and we'll optimize every one of those jobs based on job title and geographic location. The weekend that we took this live for our clients, they saw more than a 30% increase in candidate traffic to their jobs. It was simply a matter of better putting jobs on the website. So if today you don't have jobs on your website, make sure you get them there because it drives a lot of traffic. And if today your the way you post jobs is not optimized for both the mobile job seeker and the search engine, talk to us. We'll be happy to show you what some of the options can be. And speaking of changes in how we drive traffic to websites, Brad, let's take a look at how we are doing some things in social media.
Terrific. Thank you so much, David. Social media isn't anything new. Okay, we all know that we have to be heavily involved in social media and have to have a good presence there. However, knowing that, a lot of companies still aren't doing it. A lot of companies will create a Facebook page or a Twitter account. They'll post a few times in month one, post a few times in month two, and then begin to trail off. Okay, that can do some damage to your business. So what I suggest doing is creating a nice professional profile and image across several social platforms, and then have somebody in your organization take ownership of those platforms. Make sure that they're keeping it up to date. They're not the people that have to create all the content, but make sure that they're in charge of the content and making sure that things are updated. So in this example from Portico Staffing, I wanted to point out a few things. This is a pretty standard Facebook page. They have a very nice banner graphic up top. They have a profile image of the CEO, actually. And most companies will put their company logo or their watermark. But in this case, the CEO is very recognizable in the local market. She's built up a great name for herself. So we're using that right on their profile as a way to capture attention. Another interesting thing in this design is the banner itself. You see the words job seeker, question mark, click here, employer, click here. Now, banner images like this themselves can't link directly to your website. So when somebody clicks on this, they're not going to be taken to the Portico Staffing website, but they are taken to this image by itself in Portico's Facebook account, and in the description of the image, they have direct links back to the website. So this is a way to kind of get around not being able to link directly from Facebook to your website, and just by doing this, they drive some nice traffic back to their website. Another thing that I wanted to point out here is those little boxes on the bottom. One says Photos, Blog, YouTube. You can customize these. So the blog page is a completely custom page within Facebook that includes recent posts from their blog. They have great YouTube videos, so they're leveraging those not only on YouTube and throughout their website, but they're getting them up on their Facebook page. Now, they don't drive a ton of traffic to the website, but it makes them look like a firm that understands social media, that gets it, and that provides value. So there's some things that you can do there on your Facebook page. Now, I started off by saying a lot of companies aren't sharing consistently. They're not posting good content. This company is. So they're doing a great job of sharing content 2 to 3 times per week. Okay, it doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be every hour. But shoot for 2 or 3 times a week to make sure that you stay current, you stay up to date. When people do visit your page, they see that it's updated. And what type of content should you be sharing? Well, think about what type of content you like to look at when you're on Facebook. Okay, it's probably not all about staffing. It's probably not all about business or all about careers. There's some fun stuff in there, so don't neglect the fun stuff. In these examples, they do a I can't remember if it's weekly or monthly, but they do a photo contest, and they take a picture of some landmark in the local area. They put it up on their Facebook page and ask people to submit answers as to where this is in a specific geographic market. It gets a lot of engagement. It gets people talking. It gets them engaged with the page and corresponding back and forth. They'll do trivia periodically. And then also they'll take all of their blog content from their website and push that out to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+. Okay, the key there, if you're creating content, if you're using content on your website, leverage it in as many different places as possible. Use social media as a channel to deliver that message and then drive traffic back to your website. A question I get all the time is, with social media, and David, if you don't mind going to the next slide, with social media, how do I judge ROI? And I'll tell you, it's a little bit difficult. Okay, there's not a great way to judge ROI just yet. However, on Facebook, they do have a very nice tool. It's called Facebook Insights, and it gives you some great information to see how the efforts you're putting into Facebook are converting more likes, are converting more traffic, are converting more organic reach. And let me just walk through some of the examples here. And I mentioned that Portico is sharing 2 to 3 posts per week, and they've been doing this, I want to say, since about January. And the results have been great since then. They've increased their page likes 27%. Okay, and those are just organic page likes. They're not paying for any of those. By posting content and by being active on social media and being active on Facebook, they've increased their likes by 27%. And a like isn't just important for the person that likes you. Okay, when somebody likes your page, the people that they're connected with see that as well. So there's a viral reach there. Okay, by continually adding content and getting more people to engage with content through trivia, through photos, their engaged users have gone up 550%. Okay, so you could have 1,000, 10,000 people that like your page. If nobody's engaging with it, it's not really performing for you. So you want to look at content that gets people to click that like button, click that share button, or comment on it. Their total reach for their content has increased 300%. And there's an interesting term here in the next bullet called Edgerank. Facebook has their own algorithm, so not everything you post on your Facebook page is seen by everybody that likes you. Okay, Facebook serves up content based on your Edgerank and how popular your brand is, how much people interact with your content, and how much they engage with you as a brand. So the more content that you can share that gets likes, that gets comments, etc., will increase your Edgerank and will increase the likelihood that the content you are posting is seen by a wide audience. Okay, so do tests, see what people engage with, and post more of that type of content. And also make sure that you add photos. Photos catch people's attention and get people to interact.
Hey, Brad,
All
before
right,
we
we're
move on,
transition from social. Yeah.
before we move on to the blogging, we had a question come in, and I wanted to address it here. The question was, when you have a link from Facebook for blog, can the link go straight to the blog site?
I believe you're talking about the that little button on the home page of the on the main area of the Facebook page. You cannot have that go directly. No, it has to go to an intermediary page. So generally, what we'll do is create a page that pulls an RSS feed from the blog that lists all of the recent blog content, and then if somebody clicks on the article to learn more, then they're taken directly there. But there's no direct point of access right from that top level page in Facebook.
Great, thank you.
Sure. All right. The next example that we're going to share, again, not a new example, but something that has been proving extremely, extremely valuable is blogging. And it just amazes me when I look at a staffing firm's website and it's just a static website that doesn't have any content there, because there's so much opportunity for you to drive traffic, position yourself as an expert in the market just by adding some of the knowledge that you already have onto your website. And a blog is the perfect forum to do that. I say this a lot, but blogging to me remains the single most effective way to drive traffic to your website, and it's proven over and over and over again in results. Once you get content up on your website, people can access this in a few different ways. When they come directly to your website, they can see that you're up on your craft, that you know what you're talking about, that you can help them. So they can get to the content right from your site. Number two, search engine optimization. The search engines are looking for websites that have fresh and relevant content. If you want to rank well in Google, you want to rank well in Bing, you want to bring new people into your business, you need to add content to your site. The best way to do that is a blog. So by blogging, you're creating new pages on your site that are optimized for specific keywords. You're capturing the attention of search engines, and you're driving more traffic back to your website. It's a great, great tool. And then three, once you have the content on your site, it's very easy to share this, and you can see it in the examples here. People can come and they can click on a Facebook link. They can click on the Twitter link and post content with the click of a button. So your content can become viral, and your internal team can very easily share this content too. So I talked a little bit about blogging being the most effective tool at driving traffic, and this isn't just lip service. I want to show you some very specific examples. And what I did in prepping these charts, I didn't go through all of our clients and say, hey, you know, who's got the best stats here? I picked these at random. So we track data on all of our clients that we're writing blog content for and posting content for. And I just pulled these kind of out of the blue. And almost every chart we look at for every client that we're blogging for, and this is almost 150 companies now, we see this same trajectory on the chart. Traffic continues to climb. This particular example is a commercial staffing firm in Pennsylvania with 9 offices. They saw a 344% increase in search engine traffic. And this isn't a company that has locations in a large demographic area like Philadelphia. This is in a rural area. So the traffic that they're getting is very targeted. It's people looking for staffing agencies, looking for employment agencies, looking for recruiters. So it's very targeted traffic and great lead generation source for them. The next example is again a commercial staffing firm. This is a firm that has a few offices throughout Virginia. Okay, and they've been actually one of our first blogging clients, blogging since 2009, and their increase in traffic really hasn't tailed off. They've seen almost a 500% increase in search engine traffic since starting. This particular website is getting 20,000 visits to their website each quarter from search engines. It is an amazing lead generation source and a great recruiting tool to get new candidates in the door. And then another example that I'm going to share, this is an accounting and finance recruitment firm. So it's not just general staffing firms that are having success here. This is a firm that's adding specific content around accounting and finance. And they've seen a great increase in a little over a year and a half, 2 years, 540% increase in search traffic. So it's applicable for recruiters and higher level recruitment firms. And then the final stat I wanted to show you, this is actually from a national clerical and light industrial firm that we're working with. And they launched a new website, and you can see here they launched the new website in March 2012. That new website was search engine optimized, and we've continued to add more and more blog content to the website. So typically with our clients, we will write roughly 1 new blog post a month. This particular client, one new blog post a week. This particular client, we're writing 2 per week, and they've seen a very, very quick climb in traffic and are up at almost a 1,200% increase in search traffic in a little over a year. So the more content that you add, the quicker your traffic will climb, the more improved rankings you'll receive, and the more targeted traffic you'll drive to your website.
Great, thanks, Brad. And that was a great segue because you were talking about content marketing. And Todd, I'd like you, if you would, give us an overview of some of the changes that we made in Haley Mail and kind of transitioning from traditional newsletters to content marketing.
Yeah, absolutely, David. Thanks a lot. One of the things I've been involved with in the past year or so is really, as David said, transforming our Haley Mail program, which for the past decade or so has been what we refer to as email marketing program. And each newsletter that we offer for our clients kind of focused on one main article per month, maybe some outside links. And what we did starting in January is we made a much more robust newsletter to really make it a full content marketing solution. The first change we made was obviously just an aesthetic change. As you can see here, some really nice bold images throughout each newsletter. We have on the left-hand side, we have one of our standard client newsletters. The middle one is a newsletter geared towards candidates, and the one on the right is one of our branded newsletters where we take the standard content and put it into a nice branded email template for our clients. So that was obviously the first change that we had to make because it's important to really refresh your look every once in a while. Just like you do with a website, it's important to do the same thing with email marketing. We find that there's usually a pretty good bump in views and click-throughs for the first couple months after you make an aesthetic change like that. But the other main reason why we needed to make a change is because we've doubled the amount of content that is in each newsletter. So that was really the big change, is the amount of content that we're providing each month, and also the way that we're providing it too. If David, you want to go to the next slide here, we'll show you some of the different ways that we're showing off our content. This really has helped make Haley Mail now the first and only complete content marketing system for the staffing industry. Instead of just a regular monthly article, HTML looks like it's posted on your website, we really expanded it to be not only just regular articles, but also quarterly ebooks, slideshows, presentations, much more robust, much more rich media. The nice thing about this is it gives you more ways to leverage this content. So you can take this content that we've created for your newsletter, put it into your blog, put it onto your Facebook page, put it onto your Twitter, put it onto your LinkedIn. It's one piece of content that you can leverage across multiple different channels very easily as well. One of the things that I'm most excited about, and I think our clients are most excited about too, is the way we're presenting ebooks now. In the past, we just had a very simple link that you could click on and download a PDF. Now we've really changed that to be a lead generation tool for our clients. David, if you want to show the example here, what we've done is we've made a really great landing page for our clients' ebooks. You'll see here this one's called Help Wanted, When It Makes Sense to Get Outside Recruiting Assistance. Just a simple 10, 12-page ebook in PDF format. But what we've done is we provide our clients with a link that they can then add to their website. So not only is it going through the newsletter, but it's also going onto their website as a lead generation tool. And you can see this form right here. If you wanted to download it, all you have to do is put in your name, your company, your email address, click Submit. You can download the PDF, but then our clients will also get a notification saying, David Cerns has downloaded this ebook. So it's a really great lead generation tool. The nice thing is for anybody who's already on the mailing list, they don't have to fill out this information, so they can very easily download it. But when you add it to your website, anybody who comes to it brand new will have to fill out that information, therefore turning into a nice lead generation tool. The other area that we made some changes to is our top candidate marketing. And clients are always ask me, what types of mailings get the best response? And without a doubt, top candidate marketing really gets the most immediate response. The content marketing that we just showed you is really intended to be a relationship marketing tool. Build a long-term relationship, showing off your expertise, positioning yourself as an expert in your field. But the top candidate marketing is something that's going to get you an immediate response. We've designed, I think, maybe about 8 to 10 new top candidate templates for our clients to use. And you see the example here. We just include a nice simple email message talking about the different types of candidates that are available, and then a link to the page on the right here, which is a description. We usually tell clients to do about a paragraph or so description about their top candidates. And then we also include a nice mail to link after each candidate. So if I'm interested in a specific candidate, I can click on that link at the bottom of the description, and that will go directly to the recruiter or the sales rep associated with that candidate. And in the subject line, we usually include the title of the candidate so they know exactly who they're responding to. The nice thing about this is we've gotten so many great success stories from our clients. One of them in particular, and I just wanted to share real quick, from one of our clients that they sent out about 6 to 8 top candidates per mailing. And they sent one out recently, a couple months ago, their first time actually sending out top candidates, and they received 4 confirmed job orders within 4 hours of sending it out. It's something that really, doing a couple of these can really pay for all of your content marketing for the entire year. So if you're looking for something that's going to have more immediate impact, get a direct response, top candidate marketing is a really great tool to use.
And coming up to, I guess, back cleanup here, Brad, let's talk a little bit about the world of search engine marketing and what we're doing with pay-per-click.
Sure, thanks, David. Pay-per-click, I think, is a really underutilized tool in the staffing industry. It's a great way to gauge ROI because you're really only paying for results. You get very specific stats, and you can track specific actions back to it. So when you're talking about marketing that has very specific ROI that you can track, I think pay-per-click is a great option. But it depends on your market and your target audience. And I shared an example here of a company that is in a mid-sized city out west, not extremely large, but still a medium-sized market. They're doing a general pay-per-click ad, and these ads are the text ads that show up in the Google search results, so in the sponsored listings on the above search results and in that right-hand column. And again, it's just a text ad. It's a very basic ad. You're limited to a total number of characters. But these ads only show up when people are typing in things like staffing agencies in this geographic market, employment agencies, recruiters. So very specific terms that this company has identified as terms that match the services they offer. So we know that if somebody's clicking on this ad, they're looking for the exact services that a staffing firm provides. Their cost per lead on this is amazingly low. It's 33 cents. So they're paying 33 cents on average every time somebody clicks on this ad. Again, we already know that this person is a good prospect because they're specifically looking for those services. We've got this nailed down so that the ads only show up in the specific geographic market that the client serves, so you're not getting traffic from halfway across the globe. And you're getting great impressions, too. This particular ad received 26,000 impressions. So the company's name was in front of people that were searching for these services, and people were taking action. And that action was only costing us 33 cents. Okay, so I do want to preface this by saying, that costs vary by market. So in some markets, the cost might be lower than this. In some markets that are more competitive, the cost might be substantially higher. For example, in Dallas, the same campaign would probably be 3 to 4 times as expensive because it's a more competitive market. So what I suggest doing is looking in your market, considering pay-per-click as an option, and then if you do have questions about cost or setting up campaigns, give us a call. We help set these up and manage these for a lot of different firms, so we can provide some advice for you there. But great tool, and again, it's very easy to track ROI on a campaign like this because we have the data almost real time. Another example of, and that was a traditional pay-per-click campaign. Another example of a pay-per-click campaign that I wanted to point out is something called remarketing. And you may have been exposed to remarketing, and you probably have been, and didn't really realize it. What happens with remarketing is somebody comes and visits your website. When they visit your website, it automatically puts a cookie on their computer, on their machine. And as they leave your website, they go to other websites across the internet. So maybe they're going over to the Wall Street Journal, or maybe they're going over to Forbes magazine to read an article, or maybe they're looking at a video on YouTube. When they do that, those types of sites will serve up ads from Google. So they'll serve up a display ad, a graphic ad, and you can have those ads follow people that have been to your site and follow them around the internet as they go to other websites. We do this internally for Haley. It's a great way to stay top of mind with people, to give the impression that you're a very substantial firm that has a good marketing budget and is all over. And it helps you stay top of mind and make sure that you're in front of a prospect when they have a specific hiring need. All right, so you can see some examples here of total monthly impressions. So we're doing this helping an insurance recruiter in this space. Last month they had over 16,000 impressions of their ad. And again, these aren't just random impressions. These are impressions with people who have expressed some type of interest in the company. So they're staying top of mind with the people that they want to do business with. With a medical recruitment firm, over 38,000 impressions. A large national staffing firm, over 100,000 impressions in a month. And you're probably looking at this and saying, okay, that's great. To get that many impressions, it's got to cost a boatload of money. Well, not really, because the only time that you're charged for one of those impressions is if somebody clicks on the ad itself. So if you design your ad in a way that carries through your branding, maybe doesn't have an extremely strong call to action, but you're using it as a tool to keep your name in front of people, it can be very, very low cost and have some very nice return. So something not a lot of staffing firms are out there using yet, but a lot of retail companies are. So if you ever are looking to buy a new car, or you look at a product on Amazon, you'll find that ads begin to follow you around for that product. So people in the retail space are using it effectively, but not that many people in professional services are using it yet. So jump on the bandwagon, do this early so that you can take advantage of this low-cost marketing tool.
Thank you, Brad. And that brings us to the end of the show and tell, but we have had a couple of questions pop in, and for everyone, we actually have some extra time today, so if you have additional questions you want to ask, don't be shy. Please ask. If there's something that we raced through because we were trying to get to show everything that you'd like to see in more detail, use the question window, let us know. We'll be happy to spend more time. Brad, the first question that came in I want to address was for you, and it's about hosting your blog. And the question is a bit of a technical one. Is it better to host your blog within your site, example, a specific page on the site, or is it better to host outside your site and link back to your site, thereby increasing inbound links?
There's varying schools of thought here, but I would say you have a much better return if you host it on your site itself. Okay, so if you host it at a different domain and your goal is to build inbound links back to your website, you're really only building one inbound link from a brand new domain that doesn't have any authority. So that the value of that one link that you're drawing back to your website really isn't that high. So you're much better off housing all of that content on your domain so that to the search engine it looks like you have this outstanding collection of content that you continually add to. And I think you'll have a much better return that way.
Great, thank you. And Josh, hope that thoroughly answered the question. If not, just ask any follow-ups you need. Next question I'll take, but anybody else can feel free to jump in on. And it's about somebody noticing that the applicants we get from Indeed are not actually reading the job posts and not really qualified for a lot of the jobs. They're just dumping in a lot of resumes, and maybe that's because they can't see the jobs on the mobile device. Best guess for that one, and we are just guessing, is that candidates who are looking for work are trying to throw their resumes at as many things as possible. And one of the downsides to how easy many online services have made it to apply is that candidates can apply to everything. I think there is a case of people not reading all the details. I think the more desperate you are for work, the more likely you are to send your resume in. And I think that's why you're seeing it more so than they're not getting to the end on their phone. Right now, I happen to know this company's website. If you saw the post on a phone, the application process isn't mobile optimized, so I doubt you're getting many candidates who are applying from a mobile device because it would be kind of hard today. So what's happening more than likely is they see the stuff directly on Indeed because that's a top search engine for jobs. They're coming back to your website and then they're seeing, oh, look, here's a company with tons of jobs. I'll apply to everything. So that's my guess. There's really no way to do that except look at how you're writing the job posts, maybe blending in selling the job with making sure you're qualifying in the description you put of the candidates you look for. So that would be my suggestion. If anybody else has anything to add to that, please feel free to share.
David, one thing that I was going to bring up is that if you are concerned about mobile, you can look at your Google Analytics if you have analytics installed on your site and see how much of that traffic coming from a specific source is on a mobile device. So you can pin that down a little bit more to see if it really is a problem.
Okay, good. Thanks, Brad. Next question is a website question, and it says, we showed lots of examples of different things that could be in a staffing website. If someone's building a new website, what's most important to look at? Kelly, you want to help us with that?
I think the most important thing when you're looking at a staffing website is making it easy for your audience. For candidates, you want to have an easy way for them to apply online, and for clients, you want an easy way for them to access the information that is important to them. I think Brad also would agree that blogging, to keep people engaged, keep your blog up to date, and keep people coming back to your site is important. I think your site should be the hub, however, of all your internet access and activity, not just a website that you throw up and you're done with. It should be fluid, and you should be continually looking at it.
And Brad, if I can ask you, from looking at our Google Analytics, what features and pages are most heavily trafficked?
Sure. Number one, without a doubt, number one is going to be your homepage by default. But getting beyond your homepage, the most trafficked feature on every staffing website that I look at is the job board. So candidates are searching for positions. Clients are looking to see what types of positions you specialize in filling. So make sure that you have a good, clean job board and interface. that allows candidates to easily search and apply and is mobile friendly. That's first and foremost. Beyond that, a lot of people will look at the About Us page. There's a lot of traffic to job seeker and candidate pages, and there's some traffic to employer pages as well. But what we generally find is that if you just have static pages on your website, people will come there once and won't come back. So as Kelly mentioned, if you have a blog and you're adding content to your blog, pull an RSS feed from your blog onto those other pages so that people stay on your website longer and you have a higher chance of converting them. And then one other thing that I just wanted to mention, I'm sorry, David, is when thinking about developing a new website and planning your new website, the thing that I suggest people take a look at is your goal. So what action do you want visitors to your website to take? Okay, build your website around fulfilling that goal or that action. And I think by doing that, you'll drive more conversions, and your website will turn into a great sales and recruiting tool.
Yeah, and Brad, I want to build on one thing you said, is thinking about blogging, and we've talked about blogging a lot today in terms of how it brings people to your website. But one of the things we often see staffing companies overlook is the fact that that blog post becomes the entry page, the first page a lot of people see. They don't see your home page first. So you got to put a care and thought into the design of your blog page. So if I'm a job seeker coming to the site, hey, I can see the jobs that are open right there, and you're encouraging me to apply. If I'm an employer, you're providing me an access path to learn more about your services or to request help with a staffing need. So think about those blog pages, every single one of them, and really the design of the blog as a landing page for people who have never been to your site before, because very often that's the first page people see. Speaking of attracting people to your website and attracting people to your firm, the question was asked, is a mobile app useful for attracting candidates? Anyone want to jump on that?
I'll jump on that, David. I think for me, mobile app from a staffing or recruiting firm, I might use it once when I'm looking for a job, but then beyond that, there's probably not a very big compelling reason for me to use it again. So instead of a mobile app and spending all that time, resource, and energy developing the app and then marketing it to get people to download it and hoping that the Apple Store even accepts it, that iTunes even accepts it, I would instead focus that energy in making sure that you have a good mobile presence for your online website. So you present your information about your company in a great format. You provide the necessary information on a mobile device. You make sure that people can search your jobs from their mobile and apply from their mobile. So I would walk through that first, make sure that you have a great mobile website experience before you do anything with an app.
Yeah, and I was going to say the same thing, is that it's really hard to get people to download an app, especially if it's for one staffing company. So if your goal is to attract candidates, think more about how am I going to attract them with search engine, with pay-per-click, than with an app. Now, if your goal was to say, hey, how do I help my employees enter time more efficiently, or do I provide a better service experience, there might be some justification for creating an app. Go into the Google Play Store and look at Aquin's application, the app that they've built for for interacting with their talent. It's a really fantastic app and one of the best ones I've seen in the staffing industry. But in general, an app is not going to be an attraction tool for recruiting. All right, Todd, we had a question about content, and I know you do a lot of research for us on content marketing. I've heard a lot of talk about ebooks, blogs, videos, and social media posts. What kinds of content are popular with staffing buyers? Should it be white papers, case studies, infographics?
Yes, yes, and yes. Really, the key there, why I say yes, yes, and yes, is you really want a variety of information and present it in a variety of ways. If you're just sending out not the same topics every month, but if you're sending out in the same way every month, that can get a little stale, and recipients are going to kind of tune it out. So if one month you're presenting a really great ebook on how to find winning employees for your organization, and the next month you're providing an infographic on the cost of a new hire or the cost of turnover. Next month, maybe an article on how to improve productivity over the summer months. keeping that variety going is going to keep people engaged. Just like we talk about with anything, with social media, you want to have a mix of different topics and different ways to present things on Facebook. Same thing with content marketing. You want to have that really good mix of content and of ways to present it.
And in addition to the formats, Todd, I think you'd agree that one of the most important things is the topic. And we find with staffing buyers, number one, we want to tell them about staffing issues. That's usually not the topic that interests them the most. However, things like employment law, new HR trends tend to be very popular. Todd, what are some of the other topics where you've seen higher responses?
Surprisingly, one of the things actually that I'll start with is somewhere we found a surprise in not a great response with was recently we did a couple pieces on the Affordable Care Act, and we thought it was going to be a real, a huge amount of views and click-throughs, and it really wasn't, because I think people are getting a little burned out on the topic, even though it is such a huge topic. There tends to be so much out there that I think people are kind of tuning that out a little bit. But anything, like David said, employment law, any types of changes to like a 1099 form or an I-9 form, anything like that is usually the best viewed types of content. You really kind of want to also make sure that it is appropriate to season. We find a lot of good seasonal content to be good. Like towards the end of the year, articles on performance reviews. Or, like I mentioned earlier, articles on keeping up productivity over the summer months, or around April, May, to send stuff out around those times. Keep it topical. One of the things we're going to be working on over the next couple months is to really get some up-to-the-minute types of content into our content marketing. So anytime that you see reports come out, small business numbers, employment numbers, stuff like that is also very well received in your newsletters.
Great, thank you. Another question. Someone was, this is more practical about Haley Marketing Group. I'll take this one. How do you create different content for 150 different blogging clients? Is there a lot of overlap in what Haley Marketing writes? And the answer is no, there is not. There's overlap in topics, but the way we work, and because of the importance in social media marketing of not having replicated content, we do not provide the same blog content to any two customers. We actually assign a writer and a social media marketing advisor to work with every single company we work with. And our writers, we have about 25 of them now. They're very limited in terms of the number of clients they take on, so they're not writing too many blog posts, and they are told right up front they are not allowed to reuse content from one customer to another. What we need to do, and this is the job of the social media marketing advisor, is work with each specific company, understand who they're selling to, the challenges, the interests, the issues that audience is likely to be facing, and then from that we develop a content plan for each individual client. The writer takes the content plan and produces unique posts. So it is a challenge we have, because there's only so many different ways to write about HR and staffing topics, but by creating unique plans and having different writers working with different clients, we found it to be a really effective process for us, and more importantly, for each one of our clients, so that they get the kinds of results that Brad showed you earlier. All right, well, we are just approaching the 3 o'clock Eastern Time, top of the hour, which means we're just about to wrap up today's Lunch with Haley. If there are any additional questions, please feel free, call us. My contact information is on the screen. Email me. We'll be more than happy to get answers for you about anything related to best practices, websites, blogs, email marketing, content marketing, social media, pay-per-click. We'll be happy to share examples of what other companies are doing, as well as share ideas of what you could do in your own business. And lastly, I would like to invite everyone to attend our next Lunch with Haley webinar coming up in just a few weeks. I'm very excited that one of our clients, who also happens to be a consultant in the staffing industry, Jennifer Lambert from Terra Staffing Group in Seattle, is going to be putting on a presentation called Making It Rain, and how to go from pounding the phones to making it pour. I just talked to Jennifer earlier this week, and she told me that the techniques that she is using are now responsible for her inbound sales leads to be producing as much results. 50% of all of her sales are now inbound. It's producing the same amount of results as her outside sales team. So Jennifer will be giving you a peek behind the curtain to show you exactly how their company has been so successful in the Pacific Northwest. So I hope you join you in a few weeks. If you have any further questions, don't be shy about asking. And thanks, everybody. Really appreciate your time to attend today's Lunch with Haley.